What up? What up? What up? Wholesale to Million family, man. Today, I got an amazing guest, and I think all of you probably know who he is already. But before I bring him on, here's exactly what we're gonna hit and what we're gonna talk about on this interview is how to help you escape your 9 to 5, your J-O the B, man, through wholesaling real estate. We're gonna touch on the mindset because you cannot become a millionaire with a 9 to 5 mindset. And then we're gonna talk about, taking that from a side hustle because a lot of you are only doing 1 or 2 or 3 deals a year and you want to be more consistent. So how can we turn that side hustle into an actual real freaking business? So put your hand together. Put your thumb together. Help me welcome my man, Q. What up, dude?
How you doing, King Kong, man? I'm just honestly really blessed. Thank you so much for having me, dude. And this is like a dream come true for me, bro. So I'm just really excited, man. And, I'm blessed to also have the opportunity to provide as much value as I can to your community and the people that follow you that have been getting so much value from the information that you've been throwing out there. So thank you, bro. Thank you so much.
Dude, I want to say, Q, it's an honor, man, to have you here today. And if you guys Google Q, the word that's going to pop up is value. I mean, this is all the guy bring is value, man. So anyways, Q, for those that don't know, obviously, who you are, a little bit about your story, man, because I think, dude, your come up is freaking absolutely mind-blowing. And I got a nephew that are basically in your shoes. So, bro, hit it.
Yeah, man. So I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. My mother was an orphan. Her mom died in a plane crash. So we don't know any of our immediate family. It all began with my mom. And so, my mother was I am one of 4 kids that my mom had at the time. Now she has 6 kids. And we grew up in literally my dad convinced my mom, right? So my mom was like about 18 years old at the time, that he was going to take care of her and all this good stuff. And he ended up getting caught trafficking methamphetamine in Cleveland. And when that happened, he told my mom to come up with all of us. And I was pregnant in my mom's belly to go and stay in Cleveland, Ohio. And he said he would have a house and everything set up for us. The house that he had set up for us was his ex-wife's house. And so we stayed with my dad's ex-wife, and my dad's ex-wife took care of my mom and all of us until I was born. And so, I grew up in Cleveland for a little while. And when I got down here, my dad broke his parole and took all of us to San Antonio, Texas, where I grew up on the west side of San Antonio in a small Mexican community, very hood, but it was very humble too. And everybody loved each other aside from the amount of gang violence that was around. Sure. It was a nice upbringing and a very humble one. We didn't have a lot, but we had each other. And so I started getting into certain things, and I was pretty good at a lot of side hustles. And then eventually I got into network marketing, and that was my introduction into real estate. And so, yeah, man, I used to be in network marketing, and one of the guys that I recruited was a real estate investor. And he said, Q, you got to come to the seminar that we're doing. And we're talking about flipping properties without making any money. And I was just like, okay, let's go, And so I went and I learned about buy and hold real estate, learned about creative finance. That graduated in me learning a lot about wholesale real estate. And yeah, man, I was able to put some old hustles behind me and start doing wholesale real estate full time. And dude, I mean, from like 2015, I closed my first real estate deal by myself with nobody's help. I made $2,100. I felt like I won the lottery. 2017, I started doing 2 to 3 deals every single month. And I ended up making a little over $1 million by myself before I even had my own team. And this is a guy, bro. I tell you right now, I've never made that kind of money before. Like, my whole life, I just always made sure that my family was taken care of. And that's all we had was what we had on our back, And so we would all put in for Christmas gifts, for everything, And so for me, it was like, man, this is new. And I never had money like that. From 2017 to 2019, I opened up my first office, started indulging a little bit into the wealth that I was building because I didn't have money like this. So I'm eating what I want, when I want, drinking where I want, when I want. And man, like toward the end of 2019, going into 2020, I threw my first real estate convention. It was called Ground Zero. So if you were just like brand new to the game, this is where you were going to start. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And King Kong was already dropping game. I ran into him at We Live, and everybody was around him, and he was one of the speakers on stage. And I'll never forget his presentation, man. My dude is such a freaking rock star when it comes to just giving you guys game in a practical way that's just so understandable, man. Like, honestly, like you could just jump into one of King Kong's videos on YouTube and just start learning everything that you need. And I started learning a lot from him at the beginning. He had no idea I'm watching his content, building my own thing over here, you know? And so like, I didn't get a chance to meet him when he was speaking at the event, but I saw him and I thought he was one of the best speakers in that event, hands down. And so like, dude, if you get an opportunity to see him live, like go, go, pay and go. It's worth every single dollar, I promise you. And from that point, man, I gained almost like, man, I was like 300 pounds when I started getting into real estate, and I ended up clocking in at 416 pounds. And that's just me just making a lot of money and eating, bro. And I just didn't know what I was supposed to do, bro. And I just, man, you know, right now where I'm sitting at, I'm at 250 pounds. I've lost a little over 170 pounds in the last 3 years that I've been focusing on my fitness. And it's been very beautiful journey, very humbling, you know, and a lot of the money that I made, I had to put it back into my health, man. And so I'm here now with multiple different types of companies. I have a studio. I do warehousing. I have my own real estate office here in town. We have a virtual staffing company overseas called Standard VA. And we do so many different things in business that pertains to helping people. But dude, I mean, it really started out like me breaking away from my job because I was working at Jack in the Box at the beginning. And, you know, that's one of the only jobs that I ever had. But I moved away from that and I got into entrepreneurship. And it's really what helped me get things going, you know, and it's definitely scary and it's a risk at the beginning. But if I were to go back, man, I'd repeat the same steps, dude. All the mistakes too, I'd repeat all of those. And, you know, the older that you get, the more grateful that you become for the struggles that you used to have. And I think that that's a beautiful concept that my mentor taught me, is to that, you know, we can fall in love with the outcome, you know, and falling in love with the outcome could be in a lot of things to a lot of you guys. It could mean like the car you finally been wanting to have, you have it, you know, like the feeling of buying your dream car, it lasts for about 3 months. And then it's like, you know, I have it now. Right. And then you want the next car, you want the next plane. And so my mentor always tells me, is like, Q, you're so obsessed with the outcome, you forgot the process. And like, that's what changed me so much, you know, it's like, man, because as I'm sitting here now with all these amazing things that I have going on, the first thing that pops in my head is I just wish I would have took my time enjoying all of those struggles, because really they create who you're going to become, not just like who you are right now, because we're always becoming, you know what I'm saying? And so like, I mean, that's pretty much my journey in a nutshell, man. It's been crazy. I've made a lot of money. I've lost a lot of money. I've made a lot of business relationships. I lost a lot of business relationships. I've helped a lot of people, man. I've gotten crap talk about me by a lot of people that I've helped too. And it's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's a never ending vortex, and I'm just still climbing. I'm still going in the direction that I know that God is guiding me to go. And I'm just grateful, man. What I'm doing right now with you guys and with King Kong, man, like this is crazy, bro. Like this is manifestation. Like I dreamed of this, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm just excited to be here and to add value, man. But I hope that is a good introduction.
Damn, bro. First off, Q, I want to say, man, dude, thank you so much for all the kind word, man. And already, dude, you're freaking burning up the stage. You're dropping bombs, bro. I want to say, bro, congrats. Congrats with everything you have accomplished, man. Not just freaking business-wise, but with your health. You know, because, dude, it's extremely hard. Like when you're broke, you don't have a choice but to eat top ramen or to eat whatever it is that's left over, right? But when you got the money, man, that's like discipline on top of discipline. Because when you have the money, you can travel, you can go wherever the hell you want, you can eat whatever the F that you want, right? But it's saying no to the bad stuff and start eating the healthy stuff. Like, so Q, like my wife and I right now, man, like we could literally like, you know, like when we come back home, like within 1 month, we're bored. Like we would have traveled, dude, because our business is virtual, right? So we don't have to go to an office, and like all of our teams, you know, are from the Philippines. So beautiful. My wife and I, man, we could have traveled every single or every other month if we wanted to, wherever we want, right, man? but she's so focused on her fitness, bro, because Lawn Man is all about, she's like, Kong, if we travel, if I go eat, it's only temporary, that my happiness, it's only temporary. But long term, she said it's about her, you know, hitting her fitness goal and staying healthy and eating healthy. So even though when we stay back at home, dude, it's boring. Lon and I, like, we don't have like really friend here where we're at. Typically, our friends is like business, you know, like when we go to events and stuff like that. That's why people have like masterminds, or entrepreneur, they can go there and meet. But back at home, it's, dude, it's just Lon and I working out. So it's like when you see my IG stories, it's pretty boring. Because Law and I just don't really travel, because we're willing to make that sacrifice. Because she realized her happiness, dude, is being in shape and her fitness, not travel, eat, and then get overweight and all that, man.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of people, they miss that. You know, my mentor taught me something amazing, and I'm going to share it with you guys. Because when I first went to go see him, my head was way bigger than it looks like on this camera. Okay. I had already felt like I accomplished so many things. I was that guy that said no to gurus, no to education, no to like paying somebody to help me. And, you know, this is my first time paying a lot of money to somebody that I've never even heard of before to teach me about business. And I shit you not, I go to El Paso, I meet this man, and he invites me into his family, into his life. Like, he showed us his whole office, and then also brought us back home to his crib, and he made us food, his wife, amazing people. Everybody was great, 2 kids and all that, you know? And I'm sitting there with him, and I was very, like, I have a very addictive personality. And I think most entrepreneurs do, right? So like, we're obsessed with becoming greater in everything that we do. Most of us that are in entrepreneurship, we're not in entrepreneurship because we're just trying to be mediocre. We're in entrepreneurship because we are trying to be obsessed with growth, obsessed with making more money, obsessed with impacting more people and helping as many people as we can, right? And so, you know, I told Preston this, and I said, hey, man, you know, like, this is great and all this, man. I just don't feel like there's nothing that you can teach me. And he's like, why is that, Q? And this time frame, I'm drunk while I'm telling him this. I had been drinking that whole day, and he had been buying all of my drinks, you know, and this was like 7 o'clock in the evening. No reason for me to be as drunk as I was. And I felt like I was disrespecting him by saying that. But at the same time, my head was so big, and that's what money can do for you. Money is not only a good thing, but it can also amplify the bad things that you have internally that you have yet to fix and really get to work on, you know? And so that's what happened to me. Money only made me a shittier person. And so like, I had to really come to the realization where my problems were at. And so he said, Q, these are the 4 pillars to a good life. He said, faith, family, fitness, and finance, in that order. And I said, what do you mean, like, by this, right? He said, Q, first moment that I met you, you told me you didn't really have that much of a belief in God. I didn't. Now I have full belief, and like, everything's been crazy. You know, you told me like you wanted to come here and meet me. How come you didn't bring your family? Bro, that was like in my heart right there, because I love my wife and my son so much, and I should be bringing them with me when I'm go travel to these places, you know? And then the third one was the fitness. He's like, Q, I've been with you all day since 10 a.m. and you have not told me to stop buying you drinks. You were already done a long time ago. You're overweight, dude. Like, there's just the reality of it, man. Look at me. Look at you. Look at what I have. Look at what you have. You wouldn't be in my presence right now if you weren't looking to have something greater. That was the last beer that I drank, and that was 308 days ago. I'm sorry, that was 3 years and 8 days ago. I am over 1,000+ days sober from alcohol. And that was the day I made the choice to stop drinking and really take my life back. And so I humbled myself, started going to church more often, stopped worrying so much about being rah-rah and just trying to flex on everybody like I had something to prove. And I started working on all the internal stuff that I had messed up on in the beginning of my journey. You know, because when you start growing through your business, that's like growing through it, because it's not going through it, you're growing through it, right? You know, there's going to be so many hard times, especially if you're in the middle of a 9-to-5 right now and you're trying to leave that job. Right now is as hard as it's ever going to be, man. It's as hard as it's ever going to be. But there's going to come a day when it's going to get easy, and you're going to look back on these times when you thought that they were hard, and you're going to make it look easy. People are going to look at you the same way they look at Khang, and they're going to be like, who is that guy, man? Like, how is he able to do so many amazing things at the level that he's doing it? Me and my whole team, Khang is on our board. Like, we look at his content all the time. He's one of my competitors. And I say this in a loving way. Like, I do not want nothing more than the best for him. But at the same time, I know for a fact that there is something that I can learn from what he's doing. Why is he able to dish out content? Why is he able to close so many real estate deals? Why is he able to do all these things? People are going to look at you like that. They're going to say, who are you? You know what I'm saying? And when that happens, that's when you know you've hit your pinnacle. And so, like, man, when you grow through business, bro, you're going to get those hard times. It's going to be very, very hard. But I ain't never seen a cloud float over the same spot for a long time. That will pass. This too shall pass. And you're going to move on to even bigger, better problems. I say bigger, better because the problems that you'll have in the future, we're looking at multi-million-dollar problems now versus what I was looking at back in the day when all I was figuring out was how was I going to get extra hours of work overtime to pay the rent for my job, dude. True. You know, and where we're at right now, I'm like literally solving a $13 million problem in the other office right now, like a $13 million problem, bro. And so it's like, I used to look at these problems that I had, like the bills and the job, you know what I mean? And versus what I have now, I wouldn't trade places, man, because these are the problems that I dreamed about when I was sleeping on a bench outside of Jack in the Box with nowhere to go. And, you know, man, like this is what's so beautiful about the growth part, you know, as you grow into your journey, you just start learning so many amazing things about yourself. Like I tried to put on 150 pounds of weight onto my body and go to the gym and do the same workouts that I was doing when I first started. That version of Q was the strongest version of Q. Like, I love that I'm strong now, and I'm definitely like, I can do so many things that I wasn't capable of doing before. But dude, that guy was so tough because when the odds were stacked against him and he couldn't even fit in certain machines at the gym, and he felt like all the people were looking at him, that was as hard as it ever was, bro. Now people look at me and they're like, dang, this guy with this haircut came up to me the other day and he was like, he saw me pumping out the 120s on the incline dumbbell press, right? And he was just like, okay, swole ass. That's what he told me. Like, you know, and it was the best feeling for me, you know? And so, man, like leaving your 9 to 5, it's going to be the toughest part of the journey for sure. But I promise you, you're going to get to a point where you're going to look back on that decision. You're going to say like, wow, you know, I'm so glad I made that decision. And I'm so glad that I have these problems now. Just take time to learn the journey and take time to, you know, understand the pillars of what it is to have a good life: faith, family, fitness, and finance. If you do that, man, you'll have the best life. And when all 4 core elements are in alignment, you fast track that part of your success journey from where you're at right now to where it is that you want to be. You know what I mean?
Q, my God, dude. I can sit here and just hear you talk all day, bro. Dude, so now Q, how do people, man, like how do people actually get over the fear? Like how do people would escape? Now, I'm not talking about real estate in general, because you have multiple business. So let's just talk about business wise, bro. So how can people escape that? Because a lot of people are so stuck with, you know, getting a secure paycheck, man. How can they step out of that?
Man, you know, one of the hardest games for me to put behind was the weed business. And I was very good at it. I did it both the legal route and the under the table route. I'm not proud to talk about it. So when I say this, I'm not saying it like it was something that I actually wanted to do. But when the day came and I knew I had to put that behind me, there were people that I had been working with for years that loved me, you know, and that loved to do business with me, and that were really like, dude, all these guys that I used to work with, my friend Joey, my friend Richard, my friend Rockio, all these guys that I used to work with back in the day in that game, all of them are successful business owners now that are either in the CBD game or in the legal Texas marijuana game, because that's where it's at right now, you know? But I look at all of them like, man, like you guys were like my first mentors. Your job, it could have that same sense of feeling where these people are your first mentors. Like you could have a job and it could be very well paying and you could have an amazing environment. That's what I had in that business model. You know, in any environment that I was ever in, I was always seen as somebody who was a leader because I always did more than I was getting paid for. And I think that was one of the keys that really helped me out so much in my real estate business, is that I was willing to do more than I got paid for so that I could cherish the day that I got paid for more than what I worked. And it was a beautiful thing, man. It really is just like a mindset shift. But for all of my people that are like on the fence with taking that jump, I think that this hustle culture got a lot of people in their feelings, because you got people that are like, burn the bridges, burn the boats, get rid of the job and go all in for your purpose and passion. Like, dude, that you don't have to do that right now. We are in a point in time like where you can run a virtual office the same way that King Kong does this shit. You could be spending all of your time with your family. I'm positive his wife is in the other room, or maybe she's at the gym. I don't know.
She is at the gym.
I love it. It's like you can have that freedom to be at home all of the time with people that you love, but you can also work your job and work your side hustle until your side hustle makes more than your job. And then you leave your job. You know what I mean? But everything that you're going to be doing is going to be scary, but don't use your job as a crutch and say, man, I can't start this business because I'm here. There's 24 hours in a day, as cliche as this sounds, because everybody has said this. You still got 16 hours left after you're done with your work hour day, fam. What are you doing in that time frame that's going to allow you to leave that job? Because it took me so long to just put this game behind me, to put the jobs that I wanted behind me, the construction jobs that I've done behind me, and really just try something for me once, you know? And I eased into it. I would sell weed to fund my real estate business, dude. I'm not saying this like I'm proud of it, guys. I'm saying that I sacrificed. I had a son and a wife in a crappy townhome in the hood of San Antonio, and I was slanging weed so I could pay the bills and take care of my newborn son, scared as hell that the cops would come and try to raid my house and take everything that I had when I'm just trying to make some money to fund a side hustle that I know works because I've seen other people make millions of dollars doing it, man. The first deal that changed my life, that allowed for me to put that game behind me, it came from my landlord that owned that property that I was living in that shitty ass townhouse on the west side. I made 300 grand on one assignment deal, literally from content that I used watching King Kong, bro. Like, he doesn't even know this. Like, this is his first time even hearing that. Like, I watched his channel to figure out how to fill out a goddamn contract, and I used that to put this property under contract on my own without having somebody else there to try to do this because I was so afraid to make the jump. And when I finally got that deal under contract, I assigned it to a buyer for 500 grand, 200K to my friend, 300K to me. And that was the deal that changed my life. I tried to flush all my weed down the toilet that same night. I don't recommend flushing marijuana. It clogged the fuck out of the toilet, and I had to call management to come and fix it. But, you know, like, bro, it just takes one, man. And Max always says this, and I love Max. He's a really great friend of mine, but he says you're one deal away. And I'll never forget that, man. And that's also when I saw you at his seminar. So yeah, man, it just takes one. That's all it takes. And the next thing you know, man, you can take this thing by the horns and just drive it in that direction that you've been wanting to drive it in. But for me, that was the deal that changed my life. I just had to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. I had to sacrifice a little bit. I had to take risks that I wasn't proud of for a little bit. You don't have to do that. If you already got a 9-to-5 and you have a stable income, honor that, but work your business harder.
Q, I love it, man. And, you know, I just want to add one thing to that. And to me in life, man, you're either making excuses or you're making money. But I can tell you right now, the people that are making money, they don't have time to make excuses. It's always the loser, dude, the brokies, right? That whine and complain like a little bitch. Oh, yeah, I can't do this, I can't do that. But, dude, just like what Q said, man, 8 hours after JOB, you sleep for 8 hours. You still got freaking 8 hours, right? But instead, they like to make excuses. Now, Q, how do now, just because we got about 7 minutes left, man, how do people now, dude, that are doing, let's just say they closed their first deal. By the way, dude, Q, my biggest deal, I was so proud of it until after I hear you, dude, I say, oh man, I need to go I need to go hit Q up and make bigger money, man. So, Q, man, how do people now doing, let's just say they just closed their first deal, or they're only doing 1 or 2 deals a year. Now that they quit their JOB, this is becoming the actual hustle. How do they turn that? Because I've seen too many people, man, that are stuck in like the side hustle. They're only doing a few deals a year, man. How can they be more consistent and close? Let's just say let's just do 1 deal a month. How did they get there?
This is one of my I love this question. Thank you so much for asking it. I'm gonna give you the long answer, and then I'm gonna give you the short answer for this within 7 minutes, because I know we both got things we gotta do. But one of the things that was taught to me, and I learned this from a movie, it was called Pacific Rim. He says this: numbers are the closest thing that we get to the handwriting of God. I love that quote so much, and it's from a freaking movie where like it's giant robots fighting giant monsters, and I mean, it's a great movie, man. Anyway, I remember hearing that, and I was just like, wow, what substance? You know, you can find the secrets of the universe in the script of a movie, you know, and that's why I love it. You might find it in a fortune cookie, right? And that's actually a quote from Superman. So like when you really look at this and you want to scale your business, the best advice I can give you is that you can't scale what you have never measured. And dude, like I'm prone to this. I'll be real with you. All right. My trainer chewed me up about this. He said, Q, you want to have this specific type of strength. You want to be this type of big, because I don't care to be skinny, bro. I don't care to lose weight. That's not what my goal is. I want to be big and strong. That's what I want. And so like, you know, those guys that can deadlift 1,000 pounds, that's what I'm trying to be. You don't see them with crazy muscles, and you don't see them with crazy physique showing. They're just big dudes with muscle. That's what I want to be, you know? And so strength training is what I've mastered over the last 3 years that I've been doing fitness. And so he's like, Q, how many pounds are you moving per repetition per set? And I didn't even know these numbers. He said, Q, what are your macros? How much food are you eating every single day? How many carbs are in your food? How much protein's in your food? What are all of these different components that maybe you're not tracking? What is your testosterone level? Tell me about your thyroid, your liver, your kidney, all of your organ health. What does that look like? What kind of blood type are you? I didn't know that all of this stuff was going to equate to what I wanted my body to do and be able to to be capable of doing. And so, you know, I learned from my trainer that every single part of your body is like a business. Because if you want to scale it and you want to gain strength, you want to gain muscle mass, you want to do certain things, it requires a specific set of disciplines that are catered around your body type, your metabolism, your blood type, your muscle, everything. It's all dependent on how your body is. And so I went and got blood work done. I looked at everything on a molecular level, and I never done that before. Like I never been on anything like that before. I found out so many things that were wrong with me, and I was able to adjust. I went from being plateaued at 350 to the lightest I've been was 237, and I'm currently floating between 250 and 270, which is great, you know, because I'm my all of my lifts are growing up. But I track everything I do in the gym, everything. I track my muscles. I track my sets. I talk to my muscles while I'm doing my shit. Why am I telling you guys this? It's because your business is the same thing. If you want to go up in the amount of deals that you have, the same way that you would want to jump weight on a bench, you have to begin measuring what it is that you're doing that created the result in the first place. Because if you want to go from 1 deal a month to doing 5 deals a month, if you knew what it took for you to do 1 deal a month, then it's the simple math that is there would state that all you have to do is duplicate those efforts by 5. And now you have 5 deals a month. But you got to be able to measure your business. Then you can scale it, because you can't scale what you've never measured.
Woo! Damn, dude. Q's dropping bomb, man. Q, I just want to say, man, dude, I have, once again, I've seen Q content all over the place. This cat is just, what I love most is just how genuine you are just looking at your video, man. Like your story going through the whole drug thing, man. Dude, some people don't want to see that because who wants to show their scar, right? But damn, dude, you just put it all out there, man. And when I saw that video, dude, it reminded me of like my nephew. And I say, dude, maybe Q's the guy that I need to send him to, you know, just to get his life together.
Anything I can do for you, bro. Dude, you've done so much for me. Anything I can do for you, bro. I'm always here. I'm a call away. I'll answer your call every time.
I appreciate it, Q. Q, thank you so much, man. So Q, let's wrap it up, man. Number one is how can people get in contact with you, dude? Connect with you and make some more money, dude.
Yeah, man. Y'all can follow me on IG at Real Quentin Flores. Google Quentin Flores, and I populate the first 3 pages. We're on everything, man. We have our podcast, Uncut with Q. You know, I want to bring my guy King Khang on that podcast soon to talk about his journey. We're top 1% in entrepreneurship on Spotify and on iTunes. So it's been beautiful, man. And so like that's been my full focus right now. And so guys, you know, go to QuentinFlores.com. You'll see more about what I got going on. And man, I just really appreciate this opportunity, brother. Thank you for allowing me to have the stage on your platform, bro. It means so much to me, dude.
Q, thank you so much, man. But I want us to talk about you guys' VA, man. So hold up really quick here. I am going to, so for those of you listening, man, if you enjoyed this episode, if it does add any value to you, just even a tiny bit, man, show my guest Q some love. Boom, smash that thumbs up. Once again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you, boom, smash that subscribe button. But if you haven't followed me on Instagram or anything like that, go hit me up on there. Thread, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you can find me. So I decided to call my whole entire family the Moni Nation. So hit me up on Instagram. So anyways, you guys, I appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care. And Q, let's what, baby? Let's what?
Let's get this money.
Thank you so much. So, all right, Q, let's talk about, let me end this really quick here.